Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group.
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
It's the Pop Culture Field Manual.
Hello and welcome, everybody, to the Pop Culture Field Manual podcast, sitting right at the intersection of weapons, action, the military, and pop culture. Now, if you will, please forgive us because Israel and I feel a little bit under the weather, but that's not going to stop us from talking about the Wild West.
We sacrifice our bodies for you.
Exactly.
And the Wild West, apparently.
Yeah, especially the Wild West, because A, it's wild, and I'm wild, and so are the listeners that listen to this podcast.
You guys are pretty wild. We know some of you. You're pretty wild.
Yeah, and you know what was wild, Izzy?
The West?
No. Our Patreon event that we just had. That was super fun. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was. We watched American Ninja. With our Patreon lifers. It was an awesome time, so if you're interested in participating in the next one, we highly encourage you guys. Check out our Patreon. It was a blast, and we hope to see a couple of you on the future movie night. Also, if you want to continue to help this podcast, make sure you guys are buying us coffees at Buy Me a Coffee. All donations go directly back into the podcast to help us produce it and make it as good as possible. Now, today we're doing something different. We're recording this remotely because obviously Izzy and I are sick, so we're hoping it goes well. It's different. It's our first time doing this, but you guys be the judge and let us know if if A, we can keep this up if anything bad happens, or B, you hate this and you want to see it die real quickly, and then we'll try to figure it out.
Give it about 4 episodes.
Yeah, give it about 4 episodes because that's what we're going to be putting out this time.
That's what we do. We record about 4 episodes per session, so it'll be a week for you, but it's only going to be a couple hours for us.
Exactly. But okay, I mean that's the only thing we really need to talk. Unless you want to. Hey, Izzy, where can they find you if they are sick of this podcast? If you
just can't stand the sound and sight of Cameron, you can go over to twitch.tv/myhappyself. I stream 3 days a week. It's a good time. Then you'll hear and see me more than Cameron, which is always a good thing. Yeah,
it's always a great thing. But in case you're like tired of Izzy and just don't even want to see what he's got going on, head on over to Kick God Apparel and see what streetwear I'm working on. That's a cool brand. If you guys want to support me and wear some badass clothing, check out Kick God Apparel on Instagram or www.kickgodapparel.com to see what's going on. Working on some new things. Just pay attention to that. But without further ado, that's my impression of like that terrible. And I'm
you went old school, man. I'm proud of you.
I did, but I honestly am not a Westerns fan. I know like a handful. The only one I need to know is Tombstone. That's
right, man.
That's the
you
only
want to
Western.
Start there?
Sure, we might as well. That's the only Western that I've watched multiple times.
What do you like about it?
I like Doc Holliday's character. I just think
Val Kilmer?
Val Kilmer. I think that's just like such an iconic role. Plus, I mean, it shows the the gunfights. It has all aspects of like what a great Western, in my opinion, should have. And
has that walk, when they're walking down to the OK Corral, they're all walking in a line.
Yeah, not to mention the I love the scene, or not Doc Holliday's character, but who's the other big hitter in that movie?
Kurt Russell is. Geez, my brain doesn't work. You guys are yelling at your radios right now.
Exactly, because you're in your
Doc
car.
Holliday and not Butch Cassidy. No, that's a different movie.
Kurt Russell's character. I just want to talk about the scene where the guy's being an asshole at the poker table, and he like goes
dude, and
over.
that's that's jeez. Yeah, I know. I can't.
Izzy's not on his game today. Izzy is not on the game.
My game. Hold on. IMDb will save me. Wyatt Earp walks in, and he messes with Billy Bob Thornton. That's Billy Bob Thornton, like before he lost all his weight.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amy, let me know, because I'm playing with my Tor knife here, if we can still do this on YouTube, because I'm super bored and I'm doing stuff with my hands.
I think you're good. I can't hear you.
Okay, well, it's fine. It's just for the video. But anyways, yeah, dude, I love when he goes in the bar and that guy's just being Billy Bob Thornton's character is just being a raging asshole. And he goes over and just starts slapping the crap out of him. He just starts slapping him, and he makes him a little boy. And then he tries to do stuff outside, and he sees that Doc Holliday's buddy with him, and he just like steps off.
Yep.
That's real.
Yeah, he's like, "I'm sorry, I forgot you were there. You may go now."
You may go now. All right. Yeah, no. Tombstone is one of the movies I do like. What do you like about Tombstone, dude?
Well, I mean, it's like you were saying, it's one of Val Kilmer's best roles, besides Mad Mardigan from Willow. But I mean, it's got Sam Elliott, who is Mr. Western. Like, I don't think he can play anything else but somebody in a Western, because he's got that deep voice.
Yeah.
and he's just synonymous with. He's got that mustache and stuff like that. Like, even when he's not in a Western, like in The Big Lebowski, he's still in a Western. It becomes a Western when he's in it.
Becomes a Western. I feel like a big thing, just what defines a Western, is facial hair. Like
facial hair, yeah. I mean, everybody has awesome facial hair in that one.
Even like what is that one comedy that was done by the creator of Family Guy? What is it? Farley? No. Is it Seth Farley?
Oh, Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane. What is that? 1,000 Ways to Die in the West, or 100 Ways to Die in the West?
Yeah.
Like
the
that.
Parody.
The parody, which is actually, I think, is really funny. I rewatched it the other day, and like who is the gay actor that always plays a womanizer?
Oh, I don't know. Oh,
you don't know?
From How I Met Your Mother?
Yeah, from How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, Doogie Howser, yeah. I mean, that's not his name. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, MPH, Neil Patrick Harris. There we go.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, he's like the facial hair guy, and he's like, facial hair is a sign of class because it takes a lot of money to like upkeep your facial hair. So I think that's a silly part, because obviously you need to have a killer mustache. In the Wild West, takes you need your beeswax, you need all your facial product. Like today we just have those beard oils and whatnot, but back then, to be clean,
all you had was cow fat. You just slather a bunch of cow fat onto your face.
Not to mention, to be like a clean, hygienic person costed money. So like to have like a nice upkept facial beard or mustache, facial hair, you need to be in some sort of financial position to support that. So I think that's funny.
Yeah, I think I think part of it, what I like about the movies, it's just the performances. Like Stephen Lang, he's Ike Clanton. He's the law dog. Law just don't go around here, law dog. And he's like instantly like every time the tables turn, he's either a coward or he's like in your face, super overconfident.
Yeah.
And I think, and he's done amazing work ever since then, but I didn't know who he was at the time. I've since gone back and watched the movie. I'm like, dude, this guy's a legend, man.
Yeah.
Ike Clanton.
Well, I think Tombstone in itself is a legend. And it seems like everybody's seen it, too. There's no, like, spin-offs of Tombstone, is there? Like, same universe?
No, I mean, there was I think it was Kevin Costner who started a movie around the same time. They used to do this thing where they would make a couple of the movies about almost the same thing. So there was a movie called Wyatt Earp, which was about Wyatt Earp, and I think it was either Jeff Bridges or Kevin Costner. But anyway, like that came out around the same time. And like they had the disaster movies, the meteor disaster movies came out at the same time. They always kind of they used to draft off each other.
Jeff Bridges, the CrossFitter.
Jeff Bridges does CrossFit.
Isn't there a Jeff Bridges that is like a former Navy SEAL?
Oh, I think you're thinking of like it's like it's like Todd Bridges or something like that.
It's some Bridges. Josh Bridges, not Jeff
Josh Bridges.
My bad.
He's like a Navy SEAL, right?
Yeah, he's a former SEAL. He like when he like set the record for Murph after a Canadian won it at the CrossFit Games, and he like was like, never again. Yeah, because never
only
again.
An American will
only
hold
American can hold that title.
The title, yeah.
Yeah, but oops,
yeah, Jeff,
my bad.
Nobody cares about CrossFit.
Yeah, nobody cares about CrossFit. Just Israel because he's level 2 certified.
Yeah. Not anymore. My certification expired, so I no longer am qualified to coach CrossFit.
No way.
Yeah.
How will you survive?
Just always have to go into content creation.
Guess you might just have to start a podcast or like have a YouTube page or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Okay.
Go for it. What are you gonna say?
Sorry.
No, do you think?
I mean, are we done talking about? Because I need to admonish you if you haven't seen this next movie.
What does that mean?
Admonish you? I need to severely chastise you or downgrade you or like say negative. I need to correct you severely. I guess chastise. Yeah.
Well,
admonish is the same thing.
Well, what movie?
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
I've never heard of her.
Severe admonishment.
Severe punishment. Butch Cassidy and the what?
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. It's one of the most iconic westerns of all time.
Huh.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid came out in 1969. Stars Paul Newman and Robert Redford in their primes too. Like these dudes, it's based on a true story. And they were kind of like they were outlaws, but they were like nice dudes too. And it has that iconic moment when they're getting chased by some lawmen and they're on a cliff above a river, and he's like, "We got to jump," and the other guy's like, I can't swim." He's like, "What, are you kidding me? The fall is probably going to kill you."
Well, you know why I haven't seen it, Izzy? It's because it came out in '69, and I'm a millennial, and I refuse to watch old movies because I don't care about them.
That's right. And well, you should not, because nothing cool or noteworthy ever happened before you were born.
Yeah, no, not at all. Nothing historical. Nothing cool came out before 1995, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always weird saying that I was born in 95. Yeah. But no, it's a classic, cool, man. I'm sure it's on my list, my very, 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 very long list of movies to watch after discussing them on this podcast.
Listen, man, you don't have an excuse. Every time we talk, it seems like you've watched another couple of movies, so you're
catching up. It doesn't help that every time we do an episode, it's literally about a completely different thing. So like
based on my severe admonishment. Yeah,
but I mean, what's you said? So it's these two actors in their prime. What makes it? And it's a true story. What's the synopsis of the movie? Like, what makes the true story so compelling to make it into a movie?
It's a good question. Now I'm trying hard to remember the.
Oh, you're chastising me. You can't even remember what the movie's about.
Well, all I know is that raindrops keep falling on my head. Right? They blow up a train car. Like in the beginning, I think one of the things they're doing is they're trying to blow open a money cart on a train.
Yeah.
And instead of like blowing the door open, they just blow up the entire train car.
Yeah, that works. That works.
And I think the part of it is like they do all these daring escapes, and then at the very, very end, they are holed up in a place, and they're just surrounded. They're surrounded. I think they try to escape to Bolivia, but they get cornered.
Where does this take place? If they're like can just casually go to Bolivia,
I think Wyoming. It's Wyoming, the early 1900s. Yeah.
Oh, that's easy. That's an easy travel, Bolivia to Wyoming, or Wyoming to Bolivia. Not bad. Not a bad escape route.
I like how in a lot of westerns, if you pay attention, a lot of their escape plans was to go south into like South America.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that people in South America got tired of.
This is gonna be a stupid question, man. Bolivia's in South America. I thought it was European.
Bolivia? No, I think it's.
What? No, I'm gonna have. Where is Bolivia?
Oh yeah, no. Okay, you made me to question myself. No, it's in South America.
What?
It's right next to Peru and Brazil.
Oh my
Chile,
God!
Paraguay.
I tend to think I'm really good at geography because like I've been to so many places. But man, Bolivia in Latin America?
It sounds European. It's not your fault.
It sounds like Eastern European, like part of the Soviet Union.
You just got to think cocaine. Because like pure Bolivian, like I sure that's been in a couple movies where it's like, yeah, I get that 100% pure Bolivian.
What? That's to me, it's all Colombian, but I'm no expert. But damn, dude, yeah, I'm just not even focused on the movie anymore. I'm just kind of beating myself up that I thought that Bolivia was in Europe.
I didn't severely admonish you for not knowing where Bolivia was, for Butch Cassidy and the Sundance.
Just for Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Well, it's on the roster, man. But all right. Let's move on to this movie, which I actually have seen.
Oof, what a good one!
And it's a two-parter, True Grit.
Oh, True Grit.
Yeah, True Grit. I mean, it's not when I say two-parter. It has obviously there's a remake of it, and there's the original True Grit. But let's talk about the remake just because it's a little. That's the last one that I've seen. Like, I've seen the remake before I saw the. I'm sorry. Closer to. I can't talk right now. The sickness is getting to my brain. This is what happens, folks, when we try to produce a product.
Yeah,
you get what
at
I
our
say?
peak. Yeah. I actually have not seen the original. I've never seen the John Wayne one where he plays Rooster Cogburn. No, but I love the remake.
Yeah,
and
that's
the first time you hear. It's the first time you hear see Haley Steinfeld, who has since become a really famous actress in her own right.
Yeah, and she's obviously in child form in that movie, right?
Yes, she is not she's not in her bridal form.
Yeah. Well, I love Jeff Bridges as Rooster Cogburn because he's just such a dirty like just gunslinger, and I love how the entire time. I mean, I don't think movies put it in perspective of like how long it took to like go from point A to point B back then. So like you needed to just either be someone that could talk for a long time about like random stuff. And I just like how he's like, and that's how I met my third wife. And it's yeah, but Rooster Cogburn, he's a U.S. Marshal, for those of you that haven't seen the movie. And also, I'm trying, the only way I always, Matt Damon.
Yeah.
It's the only way I can remember Matt Damon's name is if I say it in that type of voice. Yeah, and then Matt Damon plays a Texas Ranger, and he's hired by Haley Steinfeld's character because this convict killed her father, and he hires Jeff Bridges' character, Rooster Cogburn, and Matt Damon kind of team up.
She's looking to hire him.
Yeah, she's looking to hire him to go pursue this guy because obviously he killed her family or her father. But yeah, she has a really cool character development in the story, like just being exposed to these two ruffians. Which honestly don't get along because didn't they like fight on opposite ends of the war?
I think they might have, yeah.
Yeah,
and like they like kind of bicker like an old couple too.
Yeah, they do. And Matt Damon thinks the Texas Rangers are like the hottest thing since sliced bread. And Rooster Cock, go for it.
Yeah. Oh, it's got Josh Brolin in it too. I totally forgot that he was in this. A very young looking Josh Brolin.
Oh yeah, he plays the bad guy that they're going after.
Yeah.
And they make him look terrible. He's got like he's got like this huge ass like mark on his face and he's just like dirty. What's his name again in that movie?
Tom Chaney.
Tom Chaney. You come with me, Mr. Chaney, or else I'm gonna shoot this pistol right at you. You ever use a gun before, little lady? Yeah. No, that's a good movie, man. True Grit is the name shows it because, Rooster Cogburn's he's like, the only way to survive out here is grit.
Yeah, and she's got it too. That's what I like about her character. She's like 12 years old or whatever, and she's like traveling on her own, and she's like super headstrong. Yeah. In the way that she deals with people, and then even at the end, she falls down in that pit, and then she gets bit by that snake.
Spoilers.
Oh yeah.
Massive. The movie's been out for a long time, so if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, we're past the statute of limitations. It came out in 2010.
Yeah, so it's 12 years old. Deal with it. Yeah. But she gets bit by the rattlesnake. She ends up losing her arm, and as an old lady, she's like going to see Cogburn, and he dies.
She's burying him.
Yeah. Yep. But no, dude, yeah. It is kind of a sad, like, it doesn't end happy, that's for sure.
Kind of a melancholy ending.
Yeah. I mean, the only part of that movie that's, like, super cringy is when he has to shoot the horse, because he literally, when she gets bit, he, like, rides until the horse literally runs until it dies. Yeah. And then he, like, puts it down and carries her the rest of the way to try to save her.
Yeah. That's such a cool part. It, like, tugs at the heartstrings.
It does.
Because he's like this bitter old guy. You know, and you think he doesn't care about anybody. Yeah.
Exactly.
He does care.
He does. He has a little love bone in him. You know, he's not just a rusty old marshal that doesn't care about anyone. But yeah, man. No, True Grit is a really good Western. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I mean, we pretty much gave you all the nitty gritty, but it's still good. Watching Matt Damon and Jeff Bridges interact is comedic. And
it's a good one.
It's a good one. Well, what do you got, man? You picked the next one since I picked that.
Well, I actually just added it to the list because I was thinking about it. I didn't see it, but have you seen Unforgiven?
Unforgiven.
Clint Eastwood.
Clint is. Is that a newer one?
No, it's an older one. It's like from the 90s, so it was a little before your time.
Because there was just a new Clint Eastwood. Oh, the new one's called. Oh, never mind. No, what is this? That's in French. But wasn't there a brand new, like, kind of movie that came out with Clint Eastwood playing like a cowboy within the last year?
That's a good question.
Here, no, you start talking about it and I'll find it.
Yeah, you look it up. Yeah.
Okay.
No, Unforgiven is it's kind of the anti-Western. It is a Western, but it doesn't, like, you know, a lot of Westerns, it kind of glorifies the Western life and lifestyle, you know, everyone's very clean, or, you know, or, you know, sometimes it's like, you know, the hero's riding off into the sunset and all that kind of stuff. But it's Clint Eastwood plays a guy who, Bill Money. And when he was younger, he was just the worst kind of person. Like, he was an outlaw, and he was just, you know, he was just a horrible guy. And then he met a woman, and she cleaned him up, and he left that whole life behind. But then it's years later, and she has passed on, and he's got 2 kids, and he's kind of on this failing farm. They can't, like, keep it all together, and they're running out of money. So he hears about this young guy comes, and the Schofield kid, yeah. And he says, "Hey, I'm going." There were these guys that cut up a prostitute, that cut her face up and stuff like that. The prostitutes all got together, and they put out money to kill the guy that did it, to kill the 2 guys that were involved, you know. He's like, you know, I know you were a bad dude. Everybody knows about you. And Clint Eastwood's like, no, man, that's not who I am anymore, you know. But so the kid leaves, and then, you know, and then Clint Eastwood changes his mind. He's like, I can't do this anymore. I got to take care of my kids. So he decides to do it, and he gets his buddy Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman's in it. Nice.
Yeah, and they end up going towards the town, and Gene Hackman plays the sheriff of the town, and he is like, he's not a good dude either. Like, there's hardly any good people. Morgan Freeman's character is pretty good, but yeah, they go to do it, and it's just like, it doesn't, like, glorify any kind of death or anything like that. You know, like when they shoot one of the guys, they kind of shoot him like long range. And they shoot him in the gut, and he's like in the canyon, kind of cornered, and he's like crying out, you know, to his buddies, and he's like crying. He's like, I don't want to die, and stuff. And so, it's just pretty brutal. There's a gunfight at the end that is very unique in that it's like a close quarters gun battle.
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
Wells Fargo presents one of the surest ways to grow your money. A Wells Fargo CD account, where you can earn a 5.00% annual percentage yield on an 11-month term with a minimum opening deposit of $5,000. Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/CD rates to open a CD account and start growing your savings with us.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
And with Clint Eastwood and a bunch of dudes in like a bar and stuff, and it's just pretty amazing, you know. And
That's cool.
There's a famous line from the movie where, you know, the Schofield kid, he kills somebody and then he realizes, he's like, I don't want to do this anymore, you know, like it doesn't feel good. I thought I would like it, but I don't.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, it's a hell of a thing killing a man. You take everything he's got and everything he's ever going to have, you know. I'm getting choked up just thinking about it.
Oh no, don't cry. That might just be the sickness, but
yeah, I'm just weak emotionally.
Yeah.
Body. But it's brutal, man. But it's good if you like westerns. It's kind of one of those iconic ones, you know.
Okay, I'll check that one out. Unforgiven. The movie that I was thinking about came out last year. Is called Cry Macho. It's yeah. It looks like
Netflix one, right?
I don't know if it's is it Netflix? I don't know, but it takes place in 1978, which obviously isn't the Wild West. It's just in rural Mexico on their way back to Texas. So I guess it's just like that kind of Western environment. And he's a horse breeder, so it's probably on horseback. That's probably why I thought so. I don't know. I see a cowboy hat, and I instantly think Western. But yeah, man, Unforgiven. I gotta check that one out. But
yeah, it's a good one, dude. It's rough,
dude. One that I actually. To be honest, growing up, I thought it was super cool, but then like I rewatched it and I realized there's a lot wrong with it recently, and that's The Quick and the Dead.
Oh, The Quick and the Dead. Sam Raimi, Sharon Stone, a young skinny
Leonardo DiCaprio and Leonardo DiCaprio too.
Everyone was just young in this movie.
Super young. I mean, it came out a while ago, but for those of you that haven't seen it, it's pretty much. It's about like gunslinging, like the Mexican standoff, if I can say that still.
There's like a competition that this town has had.
Yeah, quick draw competition. And the like quote unquote mayor, like the corrupt mayor of the town, is just kind of
also played by Gene Hackman.
Yeah, it's Gene Hackman's character, and he's just kind of an asshole, but he's like a really good gunslinger, and he'll always put on this yearly gunslinging like quick draw competition, and the winner gets a bunch of money. But Russell Crowe is like, you know, an ex criminal that used to run with his gang, but he's like a born again Christian and becomes a preacher, and he totally won't pick up a gun because it's morally wrong. But obviously he gets thrown in the competition, and the only way to survive is to kind of, you know, give up his newfound morals. But the part that's like wrong with it is that I didn't realize that like Leonardo DiCaprio is like a child in this movie, and the main character is what's her name? What's the actress's name?
Sharon Stone.
Yeah, Sharon Stone like bangs him, and you're like,
oh, that's right, they do sleep together.
They sleep together, and you're like, Leonardo must be 14, 15, maybe pushing 16. In like
they didn't have statutory rape laws back then.
Yeah,
so
they didn't.
Totally legal.
Yeah, he was just really mature for his age. But no, I mean, obviously it doesn't show like a whole like lovemaking scene, but you know it happens because like they wake up naked in the same bed after a night of drinking. So yeah, I kind of remember that scene after rewatching, and I was like, Yeah,
there are so many.
There were so many, like, you know, there was a couple handsome guys, like that Spanish guy that she could have, like, you know, won a couple rounds with, but she chose Leonardo, and I thought that was a little messed up. But it's an entertaining movie, just if you like the just like different Wazoo characters of the West.
Yep.
They have like a bunch of people. Like they have a Native American that's like thinks he's impenetrable to bullets. What is his name? Running horse cannot be killed by a bullet or something like that. And then you have Leonardo, who's like, you know, the fastest gun. Like the kid, he's like Billy the Kid, kind of like. And then you just have a bunch of weird characters that just go at it with guns.
Yeah, Lance Henriksen's he's like a showman. He's got he's Ace Hanlon. I love Lance Henriksen, but like. Just a bunch of different dudes. Like Keith David's in it. We love our Keith David performances. Yeah. Sergeant Cantrell. So it's really stylized filmmaking because Sam Raimi did it, and that was kind of when Sam Raimi was just it's 100% Sam Raimi. So you got the weird like camera angles and the switch, you know, the quick pans and the zoom ins and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so it's got this real kind of
cheesy. It's a super cheesy Western. Like it has everything that you think of a Western, like the whip noises, like the crazy zooms. like the standoff. The pew pew. But it's like a modern day one, so that's a really entertaining one. If you can get behind like the minor, with a full grown woman, but maybe like I don't know. There is no way around that. It's weird. I tried to be like, well, maybe if you're into that, but if you are into that, I'm gonna come find you and hurt you because that is not okay. But yeah, man, Quick and the Dead, that's a super entertaining one, and you have a lot on this list.
There's a lot. I mean, we could make 2 episodes out of this, which you probably could do later on. But
yeah. All right, what's next on the list?
You know what? It's hard. It's kind of hard to choose because there's so many.
Well, how about this one? Because we actually got the chance to shoot some of the pistols on Shift Fire that were featured in this movie. 310 to Yuma, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
let's talk about that.
Russell Crowe. Christian Bale. Well, this guy's been in Russell Crowe has had a fair share of westerns.
He has. Yeah, I mean, he looks, Russell Crowe just looks rugged, and he likes to fight around the world and stuff. So, like,
yeah.
Not just around the world, but at different time periods in the world.
The heftier he gets, the more rugged he looks.
Yeah.
The more ruggedly handsome he looks.
Yes. So, yeah, 310 to Yuma. I mean, we got if you haven't checked it out, on Shift Fire, we do it Lethal Antiquities, where we shoot the dueling pistols, right? Or what are they called? Schofields? The Schofield pistols?
Yeah, the Schofields, yep.
Yeah, and they were so fun to shoot, I'll be honest. Because they were just like shooting a pea shooter. Like, they didn't have any recoil, and they were single action. So, like, you had to recock every time with your thumb. And we got to dual wield them and shoot them at some pizza pies, which are just, they're just 6-inch steel plates, but I like to call them little personal pizza pies. Yeah, they were super fun, man. And it just so happened that those were the exact pistols that were used in the movie.
That's super cool. These two guys are I can't think. They're great act. They work well on screen together. Yeah. Like, because Christian Bale's kind of embittered, and he's almost kind of given up on life because he doesn't have he's got I think he has an amputated foot too, I think.
It's a missing part of his right leg.
That's right, yeah. And so he agrees to escort this prisoner played by Russell Crowe. And so like basically it's like a battle of the wills throughout the whole movie. And his son comes along, I think, too. Christian Bale's son.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, Christian Bale is just like one of those hard-hitting actors. I mean, I haven't. What do you have any movies with Christian Bale that you just don't like?
I don't. You know what? I can't say yes, but I don't think I'll ever watch The Machinist.
Oh, you haven't seen The Machinist? I've seen it.
I just don't want to hate life.
Yeah, I mean,
a couple times.
He just goes crazy in the movie, and I can appreciate the fact that like he's one of those actors that really goes after it in all aspects, not just like he's like a method actor. So he lost so much weight for that movie, The Machinist, and it's like disgusting watching it. You're like, oh my god, he's so skinny. Like, obviously there's people that have really high metabolisms, but the way that he was able to just like put his body through that. That's gnarly, because he was like straight Joaquin Phoenix in the Joker skinny, maybe even skinnier.
Yeah, man, he was. He was. That was, and then I don't know what the course of events was, but he might have done that, and then he might have gone from that to like start training for Batman.
Yeah, so yeah, that's just like a crazy evolution, because obviously he put on a lot of weight for Batman.
Yeah, he was freaking buff.
Yeah, he was buff. Not like that weenie Robert Pattinson Batman. Yeah, dude, that was...
He did all right.
That could be an episode on its own. We just talk about all the Batmans and rank them.
We could rank all the Batmans.
Yeah, but that's
not a ton.
There is a ton. That could be an intent. Let us know if you'd want to see that episode. Just our the Batman. But this is the Western.
The Batman.
The Batman.
Yeah, this is the Western one.
These are the Westerns. Yeah, so it's okay. Maybe there was a Western Batman in the multiverse.
There's a Japanese Batman where he gets teleported back in time by the Joker, and the Joker's there, and it's like Batman Ninja or something like. It's an animated movie.
Was that like Back to the Future?
Yeah, it's something like I kind of want to see it because the animation style looks pretty awesome. But anyway, Batman's been all around the world. I think in some of the lore he has trained in Japan for some of his, or maybe it's China. I forget.
Maybe. I mean, the League of Shadows is all ninjutsu stuff, which is derived from Japan. So
right.
But obviously he's in what country in the original one? Oh, we're going off the rails now, but it's okay. Anyways, back to Western. So, 3:10 to Yuma, and he's being pursued by Russell Crowe's gang, right?
That's right, yeah. And then kind of at the end, Russell Crowe kind of has a bit of a change of heart, right?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen this movie in such a long time, dude. I was hoping that you could fill me in.
He does. Yeah, I think he does, because, like, yeah, his gang, and his gang's pretty brutal, too. They're on the warpath to get him.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, he's like, no, I ain't going with you. And, like, it turns into this shootout, I think.
Yeah, before they get on the train, right? They're waiting for the train, and, like, the shootout's in the town.
Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
okay,
and
I remember
then Christian
that.
Bale gets shot, and then I think Russell Crowe gives Christian Bale's son, like, a bag of money. He's like, hey, take this bag of money.
Yeah, here's some money for your troubles. Yeah. Easy way around that. Sorry for your loss, but here's some money.
I'll just steal more.
Yeah. You know something for Westerns that I found really interesting, because I learned about it on this podcast, but that is the spaghetti Western phase, where they would, instead of shooting in the West, like in the States, they took it to Italy, right?
I think Italy, yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense why it's called spaghetti. But
it's that's kind of where Clint Eastwood really got his start and became a star, you know?
Yeah, which is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, right? And then For a Few Dollars More, and then Fistful of Dollars?
Yep. Yeah, Fistful of Dollars was the first one. Fistful of Dollars was actually a remake of Yojimbo, which was a Japanese Akira Kurosawa film.
Interesting.
Which they did that a couple times. They did that with The Magnificent Seven and A Fistful of Dollars. Yojimbo, the Japanese movie, was about a masterless samurai, a ronin, who kind of comes into town, and there are these two big houses kind of vying for power and he kind of plays them against each other, and then he gets betrayed by the both of them.
Interesting.
And then he ends up, Well,
the whole thing with those movies that I'm, like, not a big... Like, it didn't draw me into it, you know why? Because they are straight... they're dubbed. I hate dubbed movies. Like,
that was the style back then, too.
Yeah, I just can't get behind it. I can't get behind them. It makes it hard to follow. And, like... Because did they record it all in Italian?
No, what they do is they record it without sound, and then they do the dialogue in post. They always did it that way, I think.
Interesting. Yeah, I just can't get behind it. Because, like, some words would match up, like Clint Eastwood's would match up, and then, like, the other guys, they wouldn't match up. And, like, obviously, it throws me off, man. Like, even on, like, Netflix shows that, like, the international films that they have on them, that they dub over, yeah, I'd rather just watch it in the original language. Like, what's that one that came out? That was the only dub movie that I actually liked, was it was like that prison movie, about, like, the different levels. And, like, there's the table that had a bunch of food. That came down.
Like Platform or
the platform.
Like
the platform.
The platform.
Yeah, that was the only dub movie I, like, got behind, because the message was, like, super cool. And but yeah, speaking of dub movies, back to this thing. But yeah, I know Chris would go crazy because he's a big fan of these movies, right?
Oh yeah, Chris is he's our resident movie connoisseur. You know, he's seen all the classics and stuff like that. So, have you ever seen just as an aside, have you ever watched Deadwood?
Deadwood? No, I don't think so.
It's an HBO series. It's a television series.
Television
series.
It's
a Western. Oh. Yeah. About this town called Deadwood. Yeah, and everybody curses all the time.
I know. I like how specifically in the outline you put the word phrase, quote unquote, cocksucker is used a lot.
Yep, pretty much. And the dialogue is partly what separates. The performances are amazing, but the dialogue is what separates this show from other shows or Westerns. It's like Shakespeare. Like, it's so stylized that you really have to be paying attention to understand what people are saying, except for when they,
Do I need subtitles? Well, that wouldn't help. Man. That wouldn't help just because...
Well, I went to college.
I went to college. I could decipher what they're saying. Hey, I went to college, okay? There's nothing I can't figure out. Because everybody knows that college is an actual level, a measurement of true intelligence. Is if
That's
you
right.
have a college
if you have
degree.
a degree, then instantly you automatically have a certain level of intelligence.
Of course. That's why we know that John Goddard has, like, a PhD, because he's a genius. But
that's right. That's all we know. He went to college because of all the stuff he said.
I know. Shout out to you, John. We'll continue to use you as a great example for just pure measure of intelligence. But yeah, Deadwood. Is there like a plot to it, or is it just you have to kind of see it to?
Well, it's a series, so the kind of the plot continues. It's basically like you got like the sheriff in town, who he was in Justified. It's kind of a western, but not really.
Well, Justified's kind of like it's just like Yellowstone, right? It's just really cowboy-y, but not like
it's
western.
Modern day, but it's like a western.
Yeah, modern day western. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then you got Ian McShane, who's a bar owner, and you got a rival bar owner shows up, so it kind of develops. It's like a boom town, like they just discovered silver there or something like that, silver or gold. So it's really about like all the stuff that goes on. It's just got crazy characters,
Interesting, and that's HBO.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay, I'll have to check
David
that one
Milch.
out. David
Titus Welliver from Bosch. He's in it.
Bosch. 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 Well,
Deadwood.
That sounds cool. I'll have to check that. Add that to the very, 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 very long list of things I have to
You can put it
watch.
on a separate list of just television shows.
Yeah, obviously I have one for movies, which is, going to take till the rest of my life is complete. And then I have my TV show, which is my afterlife viewing. But yeah, man. Do you know what, you mentioned like the Magnificent Seven earlier, and that reminded me of, have you seen The Hateful Eight?
No, I haven't.
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah, that's a Western, and it's a Quentin Tarantino film.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Any Quentin Tarantino genre is going to be pretty hardcore, I bet.
Yeah, and obviously you have Kurt Russell in it, and Samuel L. Jackson. They are both bounty hunters, and I mean that's a very, if you're a very non-cursing, love great themes that involve just good. You probably will hate this movie because there's a lot of racial words used. There's a lot of it's a Quentin Tarantino movie. It's like you can expect just over the top like racial stuff because Samuel L. Jackson's a bounty hunter, but he's obviously not a white guy. And we know back then it was kind of a big deal.
Kind of flung it around like nobody's business.
Exactly, but I mean I like it because it'll show like the same scenario from different perspectives of the characters. And you have like Walton Goggins in it, which honestly is in so many Western movies.
Walton Goggins is the man.
Yeah, he's the man. He's in it, and like Jennifer Jason Leigh plays Daisy. What's her entire name? Daisy Dahmer or something like that. Let's see, is that what her character's name is? But yeah, they're trying to bring her in because she's got a big warrant, and like she has this big crew that's trying to rescue her, and it's like Channing Tatum's in it, and like it's got a killer cast. You have like Tim Roth, Kurt Russell, Samuel Jackson, Walton Goggins, Channing Tatum, Michael Madsen, just like so many different people are in it. But it's got a killer.
Zoe Bell, the mainstay with Quentin Tarantino movies.
Yeah,
do you know who she is?
Let me see. Oh yeah, I'm looking at a picture of her right now. Yeah, she's in it. But yeah, it's got a killer cast and the story's really good. It's just they're trying to save that Daisy Dahmer, who's like in Kurt Russell's position or in her possession because he's a bounty hunter, and they're going to turn her in, but they like stage the rescue at this like old inn they're snowed in, and they all end up there. And it's really funny. There's a scene in the movie that they have a priceless. You ever heard of like Martin guitars?
No,
they're like a
pretty vintage guitar.
Yeah, so they're a big. There's like Martin and Taylor, which are like some of the biggest like acoustic guitar manufacturers in the instrument like world or in the music industry, and they had a priceless Martin like vintage guitar, like one of one that was on the set. And Kurt Russell was improvising and didn't know that this was like a one-of-a-kind, like priceless guitar. And in the movie, nobody knew he was going to do this, but he picks up the guitar and just smashes it to bits.
Oh,
oh my God. Just, could you imagine you're like Kurt Russell and you just like, we're in character and you're trying to make the scene good. and you just destroy a piece of like priceless history that nobody told you about.
Oh my gosh! Why didn't they tell him, or why didn't they? They must have had a stunt guitar or something like that.
Must have, but yeah, it was 1-for-1, priceless, worth millions of dollars, and like he just smashes it to bits. So if that's not reason to watch this movie, I don't know what'll get you. But yeah, no, Hateful Eight is a really good one. I recommend it. It's a good one. It's a little long, but I think the story is really good. It's a good Tarantino movie.
I got to check it out sometime.
Yeah, you should check it out. I don't know if
I kind of missed it when it came to theaters.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's on Netflix. It's definitely on Netflix. You can check it out. But yeah, I don't know if there's any feet shots because it's a Tarantino. But because we all know. We all know. We don't have to say
Unashamedly.
it. Unashamedly, yeah. Tarantino's a foot guy. But yeah, that's a good one, man.
Well, we could keep talking about Westerns until the end of time. We'll definitely have to do another episode on this sometime.
Oh, yeah, continuation.
Some of the lists we didn't get to. But what do you say we move on to the fan question, man?
Yeah, dude, let's do it. And it looks like this fan question comes to us from Donovan from our email. That's the PCFMpodcast@gmail.com. And Donovan wants to know, if you could fight in any war in history, what war would you fight in? And I think we answered something similar to this, and maybe
something similar.
Maybe even shift. Yeah, we could do it again. It's not on the blacklist yet. That's a foreign military.
Yeah, not the asked and answered.
Yeah, that's not an asked and answered. But I don't know, man. Maybe it's just because I'm a war junkie. So like, I think Vietnam would be such a cool war to be in. Not like
really, man. Even with like the hot jungle, man, I just don't like being in humid places.
Yeah, I don't know. I think jungle warfare is such an interesting. It changes everything. You know, it's like I'm like reading lately. I've been reading a lot of jungle training manuals and jungle doctrine, and it's a different animal. And it's one of the. I think it's just because I haven't been in that environment before. Like I think the closest I've been in is swamp. And that was obviously in Ranger School, and that was a nightmare. But I think jungle would just be super cool. And back then, like Vietnam, there was obviously less of a what's the word I'm trying to think of, priority on like discipline, if you will, just like on uniforms. Like you could basically run around like it's the Wild West. There you go. In Vietnam, and I think that attract because I was never I was a terrible garrison soldier, like people who are only concerned about dress and looking spick and span and everything.
Yeah,
I just wasn't really about that. I was more just focused on being really proficient at my job as an infantryman. That sometimes my my creases and my uniforms weren't the cleanest or all dress. When they were, but I was more focused on whether my boots weren't bloused, I'd be training. I wouldn't be focusing on the things that I didn't think would matter, which we were still in wartime a little bit. So I don't know. I wasn't huge into the garrison type mindset. I was more into the war fighting mindset. So Vietnam for me would be cool. I think so. What about you, dude?
For me, I would have to say the initial invasion of Afghanistan, like the first special forces and CIA teams that went in there,
12 strong.
12 strong, yeah, because that was just I feel like that was kind of a high point in American military history, and everything went off so well. I think I remember reading they had a year to accomplish their mission, and they did it in 3 months. They toppled the Taliban government in 3 months.
Yeah, just on horseback, fighting with the Northern Alliance.
Yeah, on horseback, fighting with the Northern Alliance, And mission drift and all that kind of stuff. 20 years later, it's didn't end well, thanks to certain people. But back then, man, that was literally what Special Forces was made for. You know what I mean?
I mean they did it. And speaking of 12 Strong again, I just rewatched that movie 2 weeks ago. And what a great film. I mean, obviously there's some things that you're just hey, but just the premise of it was just embedding, it was exactly what Special Forces was supposed to do, just like you said. And I think a part of this question is what war would you want to fight in, but what unit would you be in? Obviously we would be with, I think the context is we would be with the units that we served with in these war times. So
Right.
yeah, but yeah, dude, that's a good choice. Yeah, the initial Afghanistan invasion, that would be a cool one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we got a game, man. I don't see one for me.
Yep, I'm the game master. But thanks, Donovan, for that question. We hope we answered it for you, dude, or lady named Donovan. I'm not sure, but
I had a female friend named Donovan. So
there you go. See, all genders are welcome here. All 2,000 of them. Okay, so here we go. All right, I'm the game master, Izzy. Let me explain this out. Okay, so this game is to see how good you are. How good you are spotting, well, a game. We'll call it Hang 'em High 5. I'm just reading what Chris wrote here, so I have no idea what's going on. I'm going to say the name of a Western, and you tell me if it's a game or a movie. Good luck.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the warm-up. But you got any questions? So basically, I'm going to give you a name of a movie, and you're just going to tell me whether it is a video game or a movie. Easy enough.
I like it. I feel pretty good about this. I played a lot of video games. So.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm very confident then you're going to do well then. Just don't do a repeat of Star Wars.
Until I go down in flames.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so here's the warm-up. High noon.
High noon. High noon. Ooh, that's... I'm about to say it could go either way. And then I hear Chris's voice in my head say, that's the point.
That's the point. Stupid.
High noon, high noon, high noon. I'm going to say that's a movie because, I don't know, I feel like some video games have a bit more action-oriented titles. That's just a kind of a guess. But I'm going to say a movie.
Okay, well, I'm going to say you are correct. Yeah, with Gary, and it looks like he's putting an actor in it. I don't know if it's a director or actor, but it has Gary Cooper in it.
Oh, older movie. Okay.
Older movie. Okay, so great. You got your warm-up. Let's start the nitty-gritty. You ready?
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so this one, Dead Man.
Dead Man. Dead Man. Pretty hardcore. That's a pretty hardcore name. Dead Man. Dead Man. Dead Man.
Say it one more time to help you out. There you go.
Dead Man. Man, it's so general. It's so funny. Well, I guess we know that people making video games and movies really know how to make good Western names.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's a video game. I feel like it's character oriented. You're playing as the Dead Man. You're in a Western story. Dead Man is a video game.
Well, I like your thought process, but no, it is a movie. And it has Johnny Depp in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so. Johnny, he's has like face paint on, I think, too, in that one.
I don't know. I think that's the Lone Ranger.
Yeah. Well, he is. Yeah. We don't like to talk. He doesn't like to talk about that one.
Yeah, that was a terrible movie. Okay, so unfortunately, you are not correct, but maybe you can pick up the slack on this next one. All right, are you ready, good sir?
Let's do it.
All right, 40 guns.
40 guns. 40 guns. 40 guns. 40 guns.
Not 50. Not 50, 30.
Not 39.
Not
yeah.
30. Yeah, not 41.
40 guns.
40 guns.
Gosh, I'm gonna have to say movie because I don't think I've ever heard of a video game called 40 Guns. So I'm gonna have to rely heavily on my video game knowledge.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say movie.
Are you sure?
Well, no, but but I got to go with my gut. So
okay, well, your gut is taking you in the right direction. It is a movie. And he's not giving me any actors, but it's from 1957, so it's an old.
Lord.
Yeah, this is an old one.
He's really reaching back.
Yeah, he's reaching. He's reaching for these ones because there's a few of them. I think we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. Okay, so cool. You got that right. You are including the warm up 2 for 1. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, moving right along. This one is called Mad Dog McCree.
Mad Dog McCree.
Mad Dog McCree.
That has kind of a funny sounding name, almost like a goofy sounding name. Mad Dog McCree. It has like a rhymey name.
Yeah.
So why don't I say video game? Because I feel like you're playing as Mad Dog McCree, or you're going after Mad Dog McCree. So I'm gonna say video game.
And I'm gonna say you are correct. So Mad Dog McCree came out in 1990. It was the first live action laser disc video game.
Oh man! Oh, so it's got live action video in it and stuff.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what that means.
I just looked it up after you told me the answer. Oh, that's cool. Laserdisc video game. Mad Dog McCree.
Mad Dog McCree.
3DO.
3DO.
3DO, PlayStation 3. That's cool, Mad Dog McCree.
Very cool. All right, so there you go. So you're 3 for 1. You're doing pretty good. Let's see if you can keep it up on this next one. You ready?
Do it.
Winchester 73.
Winchester 73.
Yeah.
It's a gun. It's a gun. That's not telling me any story. It's not telling me any character or anything like that. It's just a weapon. Yeah.
It's not doing anything for you.
I'm gonna say video game because I feel like that's like a good that's like a PC game, like PC game title. So I'm gonna say video game.
Okay. Well, it sounds like your logic's pretty correct, but you were wrong.
Ah!
It is a movie, 1950. We're reaching.
Come on, Chris.
Come on, Chris. Come on.
I'm gonna get you, Chris.
Yeah, and it has Jimmy Stewart, and all Chris says is great movie.
See, that connoisseur. He's using his connoisseur skills.
Connoisseur skills. Okay. All right. So, unfortunately, you're 2 for 3, but we still got 3 more. You ready for the next one?
Let's do it.
Okay. Our next title is Hard West. Not to be confused with Soft West or mildly malleable West. It is Hard West.
Hard West. Hard West. I'm going to have to go movie because that sounds like a great title for a movie. And since, video games have been around for the past, real, popular video games for the past, 40 years, and I don't remember seeing Hard West at all, I'm going to have to lean on my knowledge again, so I'm going to have to say it's a movie. I'm going to say a movie made before 1930.
Okay, well...
Knowing Chris as I do.
Yeah. Well... should probably find something else to lean on because it is a game, my friend. It is a video game, and we're not reaching here. It's from 2015.
What?
I don't know if this is I need to look this one up because I haven't heard of this. Maybe it's like a mobile game.
Hard West. Oh, it's like a top-down, 3/4 kind of.
Oh, yeah.
It's
an OS X and Linux. For Microsoft Windows, it's like a PC game no one's ever heard of.
Oh, my gosh.
Man,
Jeez,
Chris, how do you do it, man? Okay, well, you're all tied up now, buddy. But you still got two more titles to take you out of the hole here. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Second to last one, Dark Watch. One word. Dark Watch.
Dark Watch. That sounds like a video game name. Because I don't remember... Dark Watch makes me think of, nighttime, vampires and monsters and stuff. Dark Watch. I'm going to have to say video game. Let's go video game.
Well, hell yeah, dude. Whatever hunch you got, stick with it. Because, yes, it is a game from 2005. And not only did you say, it was a game, but you also nailed it with the vampire thing. It says, the game mixes Western horror and steampunk genres, telling the story of Jericho Cross, an outlaw gunfighter in the late 19th century American frontier who has been turned into a vampire and forcibly recruited by the titular monster hunting secret organization to fight against supernatural forces. So you hit it right on the head, dude.
All right.
There you go. All right. But we're not going to be riding high because you still got one left.
Oh, no.
All right. Final one, my man. You ready?
Yep.
Let's do it. Dead Man's Hand.
Dead Man's Hand.
Dead Man's Hand.
This one sounds familiar, actually.
Excuse me.
I don't know why, though. Yeah, sorry for all the gas, folks. That's the sickness going through me.
Yeah, right.
Dead Man's Hand. I'm gonna say video game. I'm thinking I have an image in my mind of a bunch of cards with a hole through it or something. So I'm gonna say video game. That's my final answer.
You are correct. It is a game from 2004.
Is it a card game?
I don't know. It doesn't say. But it's a game from 2004. But it's also a 2007 movie.
Oh.
But the movie wasn't a Western. So, you're correct. You got it. Hell yeah.
Hey. Oh, it's an Xbox game. Okay.
Xbox. Very cool, man. Well, way to finish strong. Looks like...
What did I get? What was the balance?
Was it 5-3? 5 out of... Yeah, for 8 of these. Let's see.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 5 out of 3.
Hey.
Not bad. Way to finish strong. Good job, Izzy.
Thanks, man. Good game.
Good game. Better episode. Wild West, folks. Thanks for bearing with us. Izzy and I appreciate it. We are sicker than, doing a kickflip off of a very big swimming pool that doesn't have water. That's pretty sick, right?
That's pretty sick.
That is pretty sick. But yeah, thanks for bearing with us through this episode of PCFM. If you want to interact with us, send us an email to pcfmpodcasts@gmail.com. If you got any questions or just want to say what up, Izzy and I read them all. Keep it up, and we will catch you on the next one. Cue music.